Xenoblade is in that category of media that you wouldn't expect to have much merchandise, but somehow at the same time baffles you with the amount of merchandise that exists. There are some really obvious things like the special editions, but I know you're here for the weird stuff. The really weird stuff. And we will get there, because in this video I'm going to go over every single piece of official merchandise. If you want to use this as a sort of checklist to see how much of the merch you have, I'm glad to help you. Let me know down in the comments what the weirdest thing on that list you own is. So when I say official, that means anything that Nintendo or Monolith Soft had a hand in creating. Sorry, there will be no Rhine time clocks here. Before we get started, I just want to thank Rayquaza3010 for the insane amount of help he put into the planning of this video. He is a Xenoblade merch madman, and he's been trying to get all of it himself, so he was a great source for fact-checking. A number of the images I used are also his as well, so if you can, go give him some follows over on Twitter. I'll also say that this video was suggested by ToPlay, who's a legendary Blade member on the channel. If you have a cool idea for a video topic, consider becoming a member, and you can send your suggestions my way. Alright, let's get started. Xenoblade 1 originally launched on the Wii in June of 2010 in Japan, and there was a bit of fanfare. It didn't get a special edition, but there were several promotional items surrounding its release. Both the original and special soundtracks released within weeks of the game's launch. The difference between the two is pretty relevant. The original soundtrack has all 91 songs from the game, spanning 4 discs. But the special soundtrack is a much smaller selection, only having 12 songs on a single disc. The special soundtrack also made its way over to Europe in August 2011 as a free promotional reward for Club Nintendo members who registered their copies on the site. The special soundtrack was also included with the first print copies of the Japanese release of Xenoblade 3D. This game has 2 official guides in Japan. This specific one is the book that a lot of people have and point to as the Xenoblade 1 guide. Even the versions for the 3D and Definitive Edition ones use this book as a base. This version of the guide, however, has little to no coverage online and is formatted differently. I don't know why there are this many official guides for one game, but hey, more merch to collect, I guess. Soon after, the Monado Archives art book was released in Japan, and it contains hundreds of pages of information on the game's development and world. The first video I did on this channel is actually about that book, so maybe take a look at that after watching this. There was also a limited French release of the book in August 2011, but good luck finding that one. Only 1,000 copies were produced. There are also these extremely rare Fiora bookmarks. Now, I have no clue where these came from. All I can tell you is that the popular Japanese idol Mayu Watanabe plays Fiora in these 2 Xenoblade 1 commercials, and these bookmarks, which were based on those commercials, were made. These are super weird, and if you have these, give yourself a pat on the back. In 2011, the game was released all around Europe, and this special bundle with a red Wii Pro Classic controller was available. The bundle just had this box, the game, and the controller, but if you pre-ordered it, in some areas you could receive posters signed by Tetsuya Takahashi himself. The 3 possible posters you could get were art I'm sure you've seen before. In France only, through Game, you could get a steelbook case instead of the regular case for the game. However, you would miss out on the regular case, which now had a special reversible cover art. The European and North American reversible cover arts are actually different. Both of these choices were made by fans on the Nintendo website. There was a poll made to decide between several possible options. For those of you unaware, Xenoblade was a part of a fan campaign called Operation Rainfall involving The Last Story and Pandora's Tower. The goal was to get all 3 games localized in English for a worldwide release. Whether or not the fan campaign actually affected Nintendo's plans is unknown, but at the very least it had some sort of impact. These 3 games were indeed later marketed together. If you registered all of them on the European Club Nintendo site, you would be eligible to receive these 3 commemorative coins that bear designs from each game. These are so cool, and I really wish I had them. Just as a clarification for those who are a bit newer to the gaming scene, Club Nintendo was the service that predated My Nintendo. It was overall more well-liked than My Nintendo, since there were a lot more awesome items available on it throughout the years. My favorite and biggest regret, other than these coins, is this Luigi's Mansion statue that I didn't get. Anyway, back to Operation Rainfall. The UK retailer HMV was offering this special box. It's specifically designed to be able to fit all 3 games inside, on top of an exclusive art book containing concept art from each game. Again, this is just so awesome. Finally, when Xenoblade 1 released in North America, there was a special art book given out as a pre-order bonus at GameStop. Moving on to Xenoblade 3D, in Europe only, we have a new 3DS bundle for the game. It came with Monado-themed faceplates for the system, as well as Xenoblade 3D itself. If you wanted the faceplates and didn't get the bundle though, there was an option to purchase them separately. There were also some 3DS menu themes created for the series. There was this theme that featured the classic art of the party on Biona's shoulder, with Gower Plains playing, and this Mechonis theme that featured the game's box art and the main menu theme. There was also this Colony 9 theme that seemed to be a pre-order bonus of some sort, though I'm having a hard time pinning the specifics of the info down on that one. This next thing isn't really for Xenoblade 3D, but more for the original release since it came out long before the 3DS version. But I'm putting it here since it's on the 3DS. There's a puzzle swap puzzle for Xenoblade Chronicles. Yeah, you remember Puzzle Swap, right? It was low-key one of my favorite things about the 3DS, and you know, the moment that I saw there was a Xenoblade puzzle, I had to finish it as soon as possible. With 3D done, we can talk about Definitive Edition, and oh boy, there are a lot of very, very specific pieces of merch for this game, so grab your pens and paper and get ready to write a list. To start off, Definitive Edition has 4 different special editions. The North American version has this red box and a hardcover art book. Unfortunately, this is the most underwhelming version. Japan got this Mechonis box, a sound selection CD in a steelbook, and the same art book but in paperback. Australia and New Zealand have this black box, the hardcover art book, a special steelbook for the game, as well as the normal case, and the sound selection in a sleeve instead of a steelbook. Europe's was very similar, though the art book was the paperback version, a Future Connected poster was included, and a freaking vinyl record of the sound selection replaced the CD. On top of that, there was also a digital download code for the music if you didn't have a record player. Good lord, even though I own this thing, it's still insane to think that this even came out. On Amazon UK, if by some stretch of the imagination you didn't want to buy this special edition, there was also an option to buy this game with this special poster instead. JB Hi-Fi, a large Australian retailer, also had their own set of exclusive posters as a pre-order bonus. Now, if you thought that was complicated, be prepared for all of the crazy pre-order bonuses from the rest of the world. In Hong Kong, this little acrylic stand was given out for pre-orders. Over in South Korea, these fridge magnets and this keychain were available with pre-orders. This keychain is different than the one given out in certain parts of Europe and Australia. It's different than these Monado keychains and keychain holders available on AmiAmi. Why are there so many Xenoblade keychains? South Korea also had this steelbook, which is different from the ones found in the special editions. This one has the normal cover of the game on the front and the Future Connected art on the back. Spain had this exclusive lanyard, only 1,000 of which were made apparently. Yeah, I'm never seeing one of these in person. At the Japanese store Rakuten Books, they offered this microfiber Future Connected cloth as a pre-order bonus. Wow, we're really scraping the bottom of the barrel here, huh? After the game launched, My Nintendo made available this sticker set and smartphone holder for Japanese and North American users. The creme de la creme of Xenoblade 1 merch has just released though. The future connected Melia figure by Good Smile just arrived in the mail for me, so if you'd like, you can actually check out my unboxing video right here. Before we move on to Xenoblade X, I'll briefly talk about Smash. There's obviously the Shulk amiibo, which was originally GameStop exclusive in North America, but later reprinted and made available elsewhere. On Club Nintendo, you could actually order an official poster with Shulk Smash 4 art on it. This was my phone background for like 4 years. Pyra and Mithra's amiibo have not been released yet, but I imagine they'll be coming out within the next year or so. Production on the Smash amiibo was held up during Steve and Alex's creation, which is ironic because they're certainly the easiest characters to make amiibo of. Maybe Box Boy or Kirby are easier, but like, come on. It's likely due to some sort of legal issue, but I'm sure it'll all be resolved soon enough. Anyway, the Pyra and Mithra amiibo might be in a dual pack, which will be pretty cool if that's the case. I just hope they don't sell out before actual fans can get them. Alright, now we can talk about Xenoblade X. There are also several special editions for this game. The one in the Japanese and European regions was actually a Wii U bundle. It came with all the standard Wii U stuff, but included a world map of Mira, a 1,000 yen prepaid eShop card with Tatsu and Lin on it, and a small hardcover art book. There was also a second European special edition that lacked a Wii U and instead had the map, art book, a poster, and a steelbook in addition to the regular case. The North American version came with a different art book, a matted art card, special reversible cover art for the case, and this Lifehold USB with some music on it. The USB is an absolute mess though, and you should probably never ever use it because it can actually brick your computer. I'll eventually get to making a video about it one day, but just know a lot of people's computers got messed up because they used this thing. Alright, so this is the time to talk about pre-order bonuses. And as far as I'm aware, there was only one. If you pre-ordered Xenoblade X at Best Buy, you would be given a $10 e-pizza gift card. But you only had something like a month before it expired. From what I understand, you didn't even need to use it on pizza since it was one of those generic MasterCard gift cards or something like it. I don't know why this happened. I don't know why pizza, I don't. I just know that it happened and we need to accept that pizza was the pre-order bonus. A game guide for X was released in Japan and another was released in other parts of the world. A separate art book called The Art of Mira was released in Japan only. The 4-CD soundtrack of the game was also only released in Japan. On top of all of that, the Formula Scale was given a model kit by Kotobukiya, which is able to stand up straight like this, or be changed into the bike mode, which is really cool. Takayuki Yanase, the scale designer for X, has a DesignWorks art book where he shows the design process for the mechs he's worked on in his career, and like you would assume, some of the scales from Xenoblade X are included in here. Xenoblade 2 is mostly straightforward, however, again, we have several regional differences for the special editions. The North American one includes a steelbook, a hardcover art book, and a sound selection CD. The Japanese version is mostly the same, except that the art book is paperback and the CD has a different design, along with having a steelbook instead of a sleeve. The European version is fairly similar to the other two, but the box is different and the sound selection disc is in a different case. Europe also had this special fan pack bundle giveaway, which came with the game, a special poster, a shirt, and this pin of Rex's half of the Aegis core crystal. I'm sure many of you are aware of this, but there was a Pyra-themed Switch Pro controller which released the same day as Xenoblade 2. This controller is super awesome, and I'll say it's certainly one of the best controllers that I own. As for pre-order bonuses, this keychain, exclusive to Hong Kong, was made available. My Nintendo Japan had a ton of posters available. This is just so much stuff, and I was not expecting there to be this amount. What I'm most interested in, though, is this acrylic board of all of the characters designed by Matsusugu Saito. This is super cool, and I think I'm going to try and hunt one of these down soon. Just like the other games, there's a strategy guide for Xenoblade 2. Also like the other games, there's a special art book in the same vein as the Monada Archives and the Art of Mira. This one is called the All Rest Records. Both of these books are only available in Japan. Xenoblade 2's soundtrack situation is a lot more complicated than previous ones. There are 3 different versions of the OST available for Xenoblade 2. The standard edition, called Type C, was released both physically and digitally and includes 5 CDs and a small booklet with a track list and lyrics for the English songs. This is the only version available outside of Japan and is sadly digital only in the other regions. Type B, or the Deluxe Edition, has 6 CDs, the extra one containing some sound effects and alternate versions of tracks. There's also a 120-page booklet about Xenoblade 2's music with a card that has the signatures of the composers on it. It also contains sheet music for Where We Used to Be. Type A, also called the USB Deluxe Edition, is pretty insane. It has the booklet and the card from Type B, but all 6 CDs worth of music is on this golden Aegis Core Crystal USB. Only 2,000 of these were made, and each one comes with a unique number engraved on it. Absolutely stunning. If you actually have one of these, comment what number your core crystal is down below. Types A and B also came with this Pyra and Mithra bookmark as well, and on top of that, if you bought any one of these OSTs at certain Japanese vendors, you would be given a unique postcard for each one. Good luck on finding all of these. Speaking of cards, here's another rare one for you. For 2019's New Year's celebration, Monolith gave away 300 of these in a giveaway. Some of you may have even seen this art before. A week after Torn of the Golden Country became available on the Xenoblade 2 expansion pass, a physical version was released. Inside was a code that gave you access to the Xenoblade 2 expansion as well. Pre-ordering the physical version would net you this Torna poster, which is just the full art of the box art. Something else special about the physical version is that on My Nintendo, you're able to print out alternate reversible cover art for the box, which I like a lot. Torna also had a soundtrack released, but it's a digital-only release exclusively in Japan. And the moment you were all waiting for, the Xenoblade 2 figures. Good Smile has made 4 Xenoblade 2 figures. Pyra and Mithra released fairly close together, with Pyra in late 2018 and Mithra in early 2019. They've both gotten re-releases though, so be prepared for those at the end of 2022 and beginning of 2023. KOS-MOS came next, in the summer of 2020. All 3 of these figures sold exceptionally well on AmiAmi, and even ranked among some of their most sold items in the years that they were available in. Another Good Smile figure, Nia's Blade form, is set to come out in June of 2023. All of these figures look so incredible. If you asked me before Xenoblade 2 came out if I thought we would ever get merch like this for the series, I would have said no. Finally, the Siren model kit by Kotobukiya released in late 2018, but has a reprint scheduled in July of 2022. Not only is this model kit super cool looking, but it also, for some strange reason, includes some integral lore to the Xenoblade series. I have mine coming in very soon, maybe even while this video is releasing, so if you want to see me open it up and talk about it, be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you're notified when that video drops. I'll also be making a part 2 for this topic at some point, probably a while after Xenoblade 3 gets more merch, as well as other games in the series. If you liked the video, be sure to let me know, and tell me what your favorite piece of Xenoblade merch is. Special thanks to all of my channel members, and a super special thanks to Play, Polygloom, Afloat Sign, and Parker Chase, who are all legendary Blade members. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!